You're in a court case. The man who murdered your father is sitting there in front of you. You should feel safe knowing all the evidence is stacked against him, and the jury has to follow the law. What if I told you the jury doesn't have to follow the law? What if I told you they could make a decision based on the defendant's appearance or the mood they were in that day? Well, that, ladies and gentlemen, would be jury nullification. Jury nullification is an interesting and often debated part of the U.S. court system. But what is it? According to Merriam-Webster, jury nullification is the acquitting of a defendant by a jury in disregard of the judge's instructions and contrary to the jury's finding of fact. So let me break that down for you. What we are used to is the jury believing their verdict. As you can see by the top and the bottom, what the jury believes is the same as their verdict, so therefore it is by the law. Jury nullification happens when the verdict is contrary to what the jury believes. Therefore, the result is jury nullification. So, in order to understand this point, this topic, I wanted to cover 3 main points. Jury nullification in the United States court system exists because of 2 laws. Jury nullification in the United States court system is not talked about, and jury nullification in the United States court system has positive and negative examples. So first off, how does jury nullification exist? Well, as I said, there are 2 laws that make it into existence. First, according to Cornell law, jury acquittal cannot be challenged. This basically means if a not guilty verdict is given by the jury, it cannot be questioned by the judge, nor any lawyers, nor anyone in the court system. Secondly, in the 5th Amendment of the United States Constitution, a defendant cannot be tried twice. Therefore, once a trial is over, no matter what the verdict is, it is final. The defendant cannot be tried for that same crime again. So basically, once a non-guilty verdict is given, no matter the evidence, no matter the laws, basically that defendant will always be not guilty for that crime. So technically there is a guilty version of jury nullification, but that is weaker since a judge can overturn a guilty verdict and a defendant can appeal to higher courts if given a guilty verdict. So if the jury has so much power, why is jury nullification hidden? Well, as I said, it is not supported by the law, but comes as a result of the law. Those 2 laws don't mention jury nullification. Jury nullification is a consequence of our fair court system. And in the Iowa Code, section 780.24, it says, although the jury has the power to find a general verdict which includes questions of the law as well as facts, it is bound, nevertheless, to receive as law what is laid down such by the court. So basically, the courts have ruled that a jury's purpose is to be the deciders of the law. And jury nullification, and many people who are in the court system, believe this goes against the purpose of the jury. And in many cases, it is illegal to talk about jury nullification. But in a presentation such as this, which is simply stating that it exists, it is perfectly legal. And not only that, but according to the Iowa State Bar Association, in mock trials, juries that were told about jury nullification often would make choices based on a defendant's appearance or characteristics or their own personal experience, which makes sense, because if you tell someone the law no longer matters, they start to disregard it. But this is all theoretical. Are there actual examples of this happening in history? Well, yes, there are. In the 1960s, many Ku Klux Klan members were acquitted, they were found not guilty, despite substantial evidence of the heinous crimes that they committed. And in the 1800s, those harboring slaves against the fugitive slave laws were also acquitted. And in the 1930s, the alcohol control laws banned the possession of alcohol. But many people who were found smuggling alcohol were also acquitted, despite the evidence being against them. So, since jury nullification is an interesting and debated part of the United States court system, I leave you with one question. What would you do? You know how it exists, you know examples of it being good and bad, and you know why it is hidden. Would you simply follow the law, or would you judge the law for yourself?